Good morning. Always nice to know that you're watching us on 3+U each and every day. As you know from watching the show, we love getting you kind of aware of what's happening in the community around us, whether home for you happens to be Chattanooga, North Alabama, North Georgia, you name it. You love where you live, and we're going to kick off the show this morning kind of educating you on the value of where you live, because Chuck Martin is here. He has Chuck Martin Appraisals, all things residential he can help you with. Nice to see you this morning.
Good to see you, Miss Sheely. Thanks for having me.
And I like the kind of disclaimer that you gave me up front before we went on the air, because there are not many of you. So you are very busy all the time.
Stay busy, yes. There are so many different aspects to appraising. They're certified residential appraisers and state licensed appraisers. There's a lot of things that we encompass. I personally do only residential appraisals, which include purchases, sales, refinances. Unfortunately, people that get divorced, I have to, which is why I'm in this suit today, is because I have a legal thing that I have to do after this. But when people get divorced, they need an appraisal. That's their biggest asset. They need to know what the house is worth, and I tell the court what the house is worth.
Okay, so let's then talk about how you are beneficial for everybody, as you've pointed out, because once upon a time, the day was you would go to buy or sell a home, and you really couldn't wait to see what that appraisal would come back to show. Now people can get on their computer and they can look it up on Zillow or something, and they think they have an idea. But as we talk about all the time, the fact that you're local means that you know details that the computer can't know.
Absolutely, yeah. We don't get to think of it the right way when the national news says the real estate market across the United States. There's not really one real estate market. There's a bunch of little pockets of real estate market. And where we live in Tennessee, we have had exponential growth over the last couple of years, and it's because of the people moving in, taking advantage of us not having state income tax and having low property taxes. And because we have TVA, we have low utility bills, even though we've been here all our lives. Sometimes we think they're not. They're actually low utility bills. And even in Tennessee and in Chattanooga, there's a local market in Chattanooga, but I actually get you specifically to your house. That market is what you are actually looking for, and they don't talk about that market on the national level.
Okay, so let's play an example.
Let's do it.
Let's play Ringgold, Georgia for a minute.
Okay.
Quaint little downtown area. There's land if you want it, or you can try to find a home in town, good schools, the whole shebang. If you were to have somebody calling you out for an appraisal there, you would be able to know the conveniences of that area, the strength of the neighborhood. That's what you'd be looking at?
Absolutely. Not only that, if we're doing land, if that's in your example, if we are doing land, then I need to know the topography of the land to see if any of it lies in the flood zone, how big it is. Not all land is the same, even if it's the same. Not all acreage is the same. Some are more difficult to build upon, if soil tests, things like that, if it doesn't, what's called perking, then you can't build a structure there, and sometimes it may perk for a number of bedroom house that you are not looking for.
So the fact that you're able to do all of that, I'm sure there are certifications that you've had to go through, licensings and that type of thing, to be that type of an appraiser. Are you in a niche market different than some other home appraisers?
Well, yes. I would consider myself a complex and unique appraiser. You can never choose your appraiser if you go to a bank and say, hey, I want this man, I want this. You can't do that, because it looks weird if you do that, and it looks like you're stacking the deck against the lender. But you can call me if, say for instance, if you need me for litigation purposes. You can call me if you have a unique property and you're thinking about selling the property, and you have already called a local realtor and the realtor says, well, I'm not 100% sure how to price this house. Well, then you would want to call me, and I would be glad to come out and do an appraisal, perform an appraisal for you.
This might fall more into the realtor's hands than yours, but I'll ask, when you come into a home and you're looking at it, does the structure, like the layout of the house, does that make a difference? Does a kitchen remodel make a difference in the way you price it?
It does. And we're actually getting into several different things that are specific that we need to explain. If a house is laid out, like, I don't know if you've seen this, but it was big in the early 2000s where they would have the main level would have the living kitchen,
Open
half
floor
bath,
plan.
and then upstairs they would have 2 bedrooms, and then they would have a bonus room that you had to go through a bedroom to get to that bonus room.
Okay.
And a lot of people would put a closet in that bonus room and call it a 4-bedroom home. Well, appraising, we can't walk through a bedroom to get to a bedroom. That's called functional obsolescence. So we can call one or the other a bedroom, but in this area, the number of bedrooms doesn't really make a difference, because any adjustment for a bedroom is embedded in the gross living area of the entire house.
Okay.
So and you think about it this way, if you have a 2,000 square foot house and it's a 3-bedroom, or if you have a 2,000 square foot house and it's a 4-bedroom, you think about your needs. Do you want the bigger bedrooms, or would you want an additional bedroom and them be smaller?
I want to see if I can ask my question here without sounding dumb.
Oh no, you'll never sound dumb.
I think as I go. So is it ever of benefit to somebody, or can they, if you've lived in your house for 10 years, so this housing market has jumped, I mean, it's a lot more value you've gained in your home, to get it appraised, reappraised for the purpose of insurance?
Yes, you can do that. The county will appraise your house about every 3 years.
Okay.
They will reappraise it. I think we do have 1,000 different values that we can appraise your house. You can reappraise your house for an insurance value, but usually your insurance company would ask for an appraisal if that's needed.
If they thought it was. Okay, what about the growth we're seeing in town? You were alluding earlier to the fact that we don't have the income tax, so people from all ports of call have come here. Ottawa, for example, you just see it exploding. So does that growth speak well for homeowners already living out there?
Yeah, it really does. Christy and I, my wife and I, bought a home in Ottawa about 4 years ago, and our housing price for our house has doubled. So what we bought the house for and what it's worth now, it has increased exponentially. Now, here's the thing that a lot of people think, oh, these out-of-town people are coming in and so they're pricing us locals out of the market. Well, that's not true. But it is true that I can sell my house for a lot more than I purchased my house for. However, I probably wouldn't qualify for that amount of house now. But because I have the equity in my house, then I could bring that house back down to where I can afford it.
Okay.
A lot of people say, well, you know, first-time home buyers and those kind of things. Well, we're kicked out of the market. It's not necessarily. That's not the truth. That's false information. Talk to a realtor. And the realtor, I promise you, will sell you a house that you can afford.
Okay, before I let you run, I have like a minute and a half. So 2 quick points. One, to the number, the appraisal value of your house is going to fluctuate. It's all based on what the market will command. Is that right? So
yes, that's
if
right.
your house is going to look at $650,000 today, a year and a half from now, it might drop down to $575,000. Is that true?
I haven't seen that in
Really?
this market in Tennessee.
Okay.
I have only seen increases. I've been appraising 15 years. I've only seen increases. Even back in 2008, if you remember when the real estate, the national news were reporting the real estate market crashed.
Yeah.
Where we are in the Tennessee Valley, The real estate markets did not crash. They did not go down in value. What happened was the real estate values stayed static. They didn't increase in value, but they didn't necessarily decrease in value.
Okay.
And that was something that was really needed for a correction in the market.
With the 30 seconds I have left, if people want to get in touch with you, the best way is just to go through your website?
Actually, if they want to get in touch with me, they can text my cell phone number.
Okay.
It is 423-503-5315.
Okay.
I'm happy to talk about appraising all day long. It won't cost you a penny if you want to text me. But give me a couple of days, 2 or 3 days to respond to you, because I am a very busy person.
Text him, don't call, 'cause otherwise will never get off the phone.
Well, a lot of times I'm in areas that don't have phone service because I appraise in 8 different counties. And so if I'm in an area that you call and I don't have cell service, I'll never know you called. I don't monitor my voicemail.
Thanks for the education.
Thank you.
Chuck Martin, we're back after this.
I injured my back on the job and now I'm missing work.
I don't